The Scudetto comes down to the final match day, and Dortmund always find a way to get into the Champions League.
Our top 5 are set in Spain, and the race for England's last Champions League spots and Europa spots are the reason you watch football. All of this and more on this episode 69 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. Kick us off, Snooze.
Let's dig in. Yes. Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we're here with the fam, except for not J-Fam. He's out playing some soccer right now. But we do have Danny P on the ones and twos, and of course, everybody's favorite hype man Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, I'll tell you what I made today. Today I made a carajillo, which is liquor 43. Okay. And it's supposed to be espresso. I don't have an espresso machine. I just use some cold brew. It's just supposed to be like really strong coffee. So concentrated cold brew is what I used in here. And then what I did is I have this beautiful tequila from Mi Gente, which has toasted like coconut notes on it. So all this together, this is absolutely. It almost tastes like a s'more. We were talking about s'mores a little while ago. I'm fair, but this is
that's the only good type of marshmallow. So
I don't understand how you don't like marshmallows. There's like no love in your heart. I don't understand. But this is absolutely great. It's so much like vanilla, and then the coffee notes. It just is so good. So while I take a sip of this, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free still. We're not charging anything. Best way to promote us, get us out there, and if you want to promote us, best way to do so. So cheers, everyone.
And we have 69 followers right now on YouTube. I mean, everything is 69s today. It's a sign, brothers.
It is a red letter day for us. That's amazing.
I don't even know what that saying means, but I agree. Red letter day.
I heard it on Making a Murderer. I don't know what it means either.
Wow, that's all right. Was going to just call out brave choice to have. I mean, we're starting this podcast at 9:15. You're drinking coffee, so he's gonna be up for a while.
I don't think caffeine ever even works on me anymore.
Okay.
Any kind of caffeine.
All right.
We'll find out. I'll let you guys know.
Well, before people check out from all this alcohol talk, let's talk some soccer. And we're going to be covering all of the leagues that we usually cover. If you've never been here before, we cover Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, and the Prem. And as you know, the Bundesliga did wrap up its 24-25 season. So we'll talk all about that. And then we'll break down the match day 37 in the Prem, La Liga, and Serie A. And man, boy, oh boy, there's going to be some matchups in week 38. I cannot wait to talk about it. And Vic, do we have boots on the ground this time around? No, we don't, right?
I think we do. We just had a game. So yeah, we can do it.
Do we? Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's go boots on the ground for the Austin FC minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's not a bad update this time, not an outstanding one either. But Austin FC held Vancouver Whitecaps to a 0-0 draw. And Vancouver are widely known as like the best team in MLS right now. Not only did we hold them to the draw, we looked like the better team. But again, we just could not finish, which has been the story of Austin FC. Seems to be like all year. So 0-0 draw. I think we had like 15 shots to their 6. We held them to the least amount of shots, Vancouver, for the year as well. Again, just couldn't finish. And yeah, another weird thing about it is that we made no subs until the 82nd minute, which is a brave move because we have a game Wednesday. And it was almost like 100. It felt like soup out there. And you made them run out there for 82 minutes. So I know they're going to be some tired legs come this Wednesday when the Houston Dynamo come to Q2 Stadium to play us in the U.S. Open Cup. That's what it's called, U.S. Open Cup. And so if you guys see us there, come say hi. First beer's on me. If you do see us, let us know.
Me too. Does that go for me?
No. I said us. If they see us, you
don't
see us. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Fine.
But yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet for the Austin FC minute. We got a lot of stuff to get to, and things are getting real spicy in the other leagues. Unless Snooze, you got anything for us?
No. I was looking up to see the if Vancouver had a 0-0 draw yet, or if anybody held them to scoreless draw, or just scoreless in general. So
yeah, I don't know about scoreless, but we're their 4th draw. They've only lost 1 time, and they've won 8 times. So
okay, there you go. Hey, either way, building little by little. New coach, new players, everything's different here. We got to have time to grow. And with that, we're taking it over across the pond to do our normal everyday stuff. I mean, it feels like this is just routine for us now. It's crazy. We started in the first weeks, and it is the penultimate week that we're talking about now. Wow, this is crazy, man. Okay, well, let's jump into it then. Let's go to Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A.
And I'm not going to put much fluff into these because these are kind of long because there's a lot of important matches going on. And it all started on Saturday with Atalanta, and they add 3 more points to the tally with a 3-2 win over Genoa. Very entertaining match, actually. And the winner from Retegui came with some controversy as the buildup all started from a back pass to a defender who went down with an injury as the ball was coming to him. And once he went down, of course, it was a 2-on-1, and Atalanta take care of business. Retegui was never going to miss. Some controversy, I'll say. On Sunday, Juve get a 2-0 home win over Udinese to stay in the top 4. Goals from Nico Gonzalez and Vlahovic sealed all 3 points, and they stay ahead of Roma heading into the last match day. Monza fall at home 3-1 to Empoli, and with this result, it means that it's going to be some chaos going into the final match day, with Verona, Parma, Lecce, Empoli, and Venezia, all with the possibility of staying up or being relegated. This is crazy. Cagliari put Venezia to the sword in front of their packed house with a 3-0 win. The result drops Venezia from 17th to 19th, and they're now 2 points back from Empoli and Lecce heading into the final match day. I'm going to say probably that a couple times, so I apologize, but it's a lot of stuff going on down at the bottom of the table. And Lecce get their first win in 5 matches. They get a 1-0 win over Torino. The bottom of the table they're not going down without a fight. Let's just put it that way. Inter and Lazio trade blow for blow in a highly contested matchup. We'll break it down here in a second. Verona stopped the mighty Como's win streak with a 1-1 draw. It was a much-needed point for Verona, who are in the thick of the relegation battle, as we just talked about. So every point helps. And, man, Como was on fire prior to this draw. Parma hold Napoli to a 0-0 draw. And Gisa and Politano both hit the post. Both managers got sent off. Conte's bringing the mother effing ruckus, and Inter drew as well. So that go on to next week for the Scudetto. It was a crazy matchup. The Viola get it done at home with a 3-2 win over Bologna to stop their skid of losses at 2. Orsolini and Bologna were good in this matchup, but Moise can use some of this magic he's had all season, honestly, and he gets the third and decisive goal in the 84th minute. Orsolini gets a goal and an assist in this one as well. And Orsolini, man, he's 28 years old. He was bought from Juve in 2019, and he only for 15 mil. I feel like he might be moved on this summer because he is a asset, a commodity. Claudio Ranieri's Roma get it done again as they get a 3-1 win over Milan in Rome. Santi Jimenez was sent off for elbowing a dude in the ribs in the 21st minute of this one, so Milan never really had a chance to get going, but either way, Roma stay on Juve's heels. I had to slow that one down. I had to slow it down. Okay. All right. With all that said, Vic, what does the table look like after match day 37?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we have our title race. It's continuing on to this as both number 1 and number 2, Inter Milan and Napoli, not in that order, sorry, are 1 point apart. They have 79 and 78 points. That's Napoli and Inter Milan, respectively. And it all comes down to this next week, which we will all break down in our European look ahead coming out this Friday. So be sure to subscribe and get ready for that as it comes out. Be the first ones to hear it. Then you have Atalanta, the most boring one, only because they were guaranteed the number 3 spot for quite a while now. They have, my thing just went away. Sorry, they have 74 points in the number 3 spot. And then rounding out our top 4 is Juventus with 67 points. Juventus with 67 points. And this begins the fun last Champions League spot and Europa League spots competition here, because Roma and Lazio have 66 and 65 points, 1 and 2 points behind Juventus apiece. And it's anybody's game. Somebody's going to get the last Champions League spot. The other 2 are going to get the Europa League spots. But you cannot count out Fiorentina and Bologna, because if everything goes their way, one of them could leapfrog Lazio to get that last Europa League spot. This is why you watch football. Like I said in the beginning, this is going to be fun. And I know all these supporters are going to be going absolutely crazy. But not so much crazy supporters here on the bottom of the table, as you have Empoli in the number 18th spot. They have 31 points. They're actually tied with Lecce, but just behind them on goal differential. Lecce are in the number 17 spot. So it's anyone's game to be relegated down there as well. You can't also count out Parma, who have 33 points, still trying to get out of the relegation zone. I think 1 point will do it for them. And then actually Verona will have 1 point will do it for them. They are in the 15th spot with 34 points, followed by Parma with 33 points. So still can get relegated. All of them are in the relegation talks. And yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy there at the bottom of the table as well.
So crazy.
Yeah. Not to mention Venezia have the 19th spot, and they are welcome back to the relegation zone. Unfortunately, they were above that line there for a second. Everyone was rejoicing, and then back to them.
One match day, they were out of it. And then
right back. Time for Empoli and Lecce to get a win for Venezia.
I know, right? They're like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, all the draws they got recently, and now they're like, oh, now y'all want to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in the worst time as well. So, and then was never a good time for Monza, who are already a well-relegated machine with 18 measly points, negative 39 goal differential. They hold up the rest of the table, and good luck next season, boys. And Monza, Snooze, anything in the table you want to take a look at while we got it up here?
Nothing that you didn't say already. Looks like it's going to be a very fun match day 38. Looking forward to the look ahead.
Yeah, looking forward. And I don't know if you wanted to focus on a game. I know we focused on one before, but we had a game of the week, Lazio and Inter. Did you want to talk about that one as well, or are we good?
Yeah, let's do it. So this match was kind of crazy. I know we talked about it going in, that Inter had beaten. So they had 2 matches prior to this, right? And they had combined 8 goals and 0 against. And so going into this match, and they won, I think it was 6-0 in Rome. So it's like, of course, they're going to go home. They're going to get this win. But honestly, Inter fought with everything they had. But 37-year-old Pedro's brace was enough to split the points for Lazio, because in our, like I was saying, in our preview, it just didn't happen. Lazio didn't have it in them both times they played, and it wasn't close. And so, of course, we thought that would happen again. Obviously, our Lazio, we're going for them. But it didn't turn out that way. I think that as soon as Bisek's goal came in the first half, I honestly thought it could have been called either way. Up to that point, I guess I should say. Up to that point, it felt like it was very, very neutral, I guess. Like both teams played very well. Yeah. I expected Inter to come out firing, and then they would just kind of get the lead, stay on top of things, keep the pressure, keep possession. It just didn't happen that way, and it was a great match to watch. But like I was saying, before Bisek's goal, I honestly thought this could go either way. But obviously the super sub Pedro, he levels it in the 72nd minute, silences the home crowd. Dumfries heads home to get the team back in front. It was just, it's just back and forth with these guys. But it all came down to the 90th minute with a handball, gives Pedro an opportunity. And he obviously buries his penalty, and they split the points 2-2. Now there was a moment though, and I think that this game will be, I don't want to say marred, because that's, first off, I don't remember if that's a word. I think that's a word.
It's a word, yes.
It's marred by one Marko Arnautovic, because in the 94th minute, Acerbi, who the guy who got them into extra time of the Champions League, he heads down across into the path of Arnautovic, who has maybe, Vic, this guy's maybe 3 or 4 yards out from the goal. Like, he is right there, and he just takes the biggest swing at it that he could. He whiffs, and it hits his plant leg and goes out of bounds. And it's just very disappointing. You saw all of his teammates' faces drop, because they would have won the Scudetto right there with that goal. And you can like hear the collective breath leave the crowd, like, dude. And then that's how the match ends. It felt at the time that they were going to lose the Scudetto, not that he could have won it for them. So it was kind of a different feeling. Like it was disappointment regardless. But then obviously they find out Napoli is going to draw with Parma 0-0, and it still goes down to the final match day. So overall, interesting, fun match to watch, but it really should have been won by Inter if Marko Arnautovic doesn't get that goal in the back of the net. And if you haven't seen it, go watch the highlights. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You can't miss that when the title is literally there to be won, and he does. So that's how it ends. And good thing for Lazio. I think the result, it kept things very interesting for the neutral fans anyways. There's so many talking points now. There's so many different teams that can end up in different places within the table, as Vic was just showing us. So I'm cool with the result. Everything ends up being fine. We have a Scudetto being called on the final match day. We have 5 teams that could be in the Champions League or whatever, 3 teams, 5 teams that could be relegated. Like everything in this table for the Serie A just shows what we've been talking about for the past, I don't know, 2-3 months now, that Serie A has been the most, I don't want to say the most fun because maybe you had fun in the Prem, but it has been the most for neutral fans of just watching football, soccer in Europe. This is like the league that everybody's talking about right now. Vic, anything that you want to pour onto this, because this is incredible what we're going into matchday 38.
No, this is some must-see TV coming up, and right. I think they all play at the same time, right? They should all play the same. It's a champion. Yeah, they all play Sunday at 8 a.m. Central. So all this is going to be unfolding all at the same time. I think they even kick off halftime at the same time. They hold on for everybody.
Really?
Yeah, cool. I think this way it's been a couple. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let us know down in the comments if I'm just off base. Maybe I'm wondering.
Making shit up. My boy just making shit up right
now. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely fun to watch. I will be on the beach probably, but I will be getting a couple of notifications for sure. I'll let you guys know about that. Near the end, just going on a little vacation here. But
yeah, I was gonna say, man, that's why you're drinking coconut tequila.
Yeah, I'm getting in the zone already. Getting in the zone. Getting in the zone. But yeah, can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be fun.
Well, let's do this. That's it for Serie A. Looking for the final match day. Let's move it along. Let's go to Spain.
Let's do it. To La Liga. This is seriously so good. It's almost like a frappuccino. Like it's like sweet and it's just like vanilla-y. It's great.
I only drink my coffee black, so I wouldn't even know what that means.
You know, when you were younger, you had a frappuccino. Everybody had a frappuccino.
Oh yeah, yeah,
when they were younger.
Yeah. When I was younger, yeah.
It's like that.
All right, let's do this. In La Liga on Sunday, all the games they had the Onado Unificado or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's all the games at one single time on Sunday. And it was Las Palmas lose at home to Leganés 1-0. And with that result, they are relegated. Sad day. I remember saying on the pod, maybe, I don't know, back in December or something like that, that I hoped that they carried their momentum into the new year. So, yes, it was in December. Because, I mean, Vic, if you recall, they went on a run in late November going into December. And they were unbeaten and winning a ton of matches. And we were like, man, this is the mighty Las Palmas right now. You can't mess with them. And then they ended up just
I think you gave
them towards the end of the season.
You gave them their flowers, didn't you?
No.
You probably gave them their flowers.
No. I would never. But it does suck to see them get relegated. But now my joke does stand true. 2 teams in the second division coming to Austin or coming to San Antonio.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along, though. Alaves guarantee their safety for next season in La Liga as they get a 1-0 road win over Valladolid. Valladolid tested them, but ultimately we all knew how this one would end. Osasuna get a 2-0 home win over the sinking Espanyol side, who have now lost 5 straight matches to close out the season. Of course, they have one more. Only 2 points clear of Leganés, so it's going to get tight, and they should have. I mean, you can't go on a 5-game losing streak anytime, but when you do it at this time of the season, it's so bad. It's so bad. But anyway, it is clinch cheeks times for Espanyol going into that final week. Big. Rayo Vallecano stunned the home crowd as they defeat Celta 2-1, and we'll talk about this one more in a second. Finally, right? Get it done in prime time, baby. Not actually prime time, but, our highlight prime time. Barca get a guard of honor from Villarreal, and they get beat by them 3-2 at home. Yamal was excellent as always, but it wasn't enough for Villarreal side, who've locked up the Champions League football for next season. And if you didn't see the match, which you probably did because Barca are awesome to watch right now, Lamine Yamal is just ridiculous. Like, if the dude is coming in on the right and cuts in on the left, just do whatever you can to stop him because it's probably going in, and that's how he gets his goal here. It's beautiful. Real Sociedad finally get a win as they go 3-2 over Girona. They looked really good here. Ayorzabal and Kubo leading the way. Honestly, I hadn't seen Real Sociedad look this good and this fluid in a long time. I don't know what's going on with them, but that's the team that we all want to see, and hopefully they can continue this momentum into next week and then into the next season. Real Madrid get a 2-0 win against Sevilla, and it could have been much worse with Sevilla down to 9 men. Vic, 9 men from the 47th minute on, and it was only a 2-0. You would think that it was way worse, but it was.
I saw the red card mark whenever I was making this. And I'm like, but you just think 10, but damn, they lost
No. 9 min
for a half.
for
That's
the
crazy.
half. And
Jeez.
they still, I mean, 2-0, that's respectable whenever you see 9 men on the docket. Okay, let's move along. Getafe can breathe easy now as they get a 2-1 win over Mallorca on the road. The result confirms two things. It confirms Getafe are staying up, as we just said, and it confirms that Mallorca will not be in Europe next season. Also, Getafe have a better goal. Getafe, this is a crazy stat to me. They have a better goals against, so defensive record, than both Madrid and Barca going into the final week. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like Getafe, man. Okay, get it done. Maybe this summer they get a couple of attackers and they might be able to take some take some heads off, but you know what I'm trying to say. They might be able to climb up the table. All right. Athletic Club are finishing the season on a high as they get a 1-0 win over Valencia at La Mestalla. The winning goal from Berenguer was from outside the box, curled perfectly in the top corner. And I mean, when I say perfectly, Vic, it was perfect. You couldn't place it better. It was unsavable. It was an awesome goal. Go check it out. Berenguer, one of the best last names in the game. Atletico Madrid continued to be the most confusing team in La Liga with a 4-1 destruction of the hottest team in La Liga. Well, not anymore, but they were Real Betis. Granted, Betis played a rotated side in preparation for the Conference League final. Obviously, they have that coming up with Chelsea, but still, this was all Atleti all day. And outside of one of the best goals of the weekend, or outside of Atleti dominating them, Betis did get one of the best goals of the weekend, which was Pablo Fornals, and he was assisted by Giovanni Lo Celso. Everything about it was beautiful, technical, amazing. Go check it out. All right, Vic, where does that leave us in the table in La Liga after match day 37, sir?
Yes, well, after match day 37, the top 5 are all locked up. Of course, Barcelona are your champions. They have 85 points. 4 points behind them is Real Madrid with 81 points in the number 2 spot. Atletico Madrid take the number 3 spot with 73 points, a clear 8 points behind Real Madrid. And then Athletic Club are 3 points behind Atletico Madrid in the number 4 spot with 70 points. And then rounding out our top 5 is Villarreal with 67 points, the last Champions League spot of the La Liga. Right now anyway. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that's it, but you do have a gap from Villarreal down to Real Betis with it's an 8-point gap. Actually, Betis are in the number 6 spot on the Europa League spots, and then 7 points behind them is Celta Vigo. So Real Betis is not going anywhere, but Celta Vigo do have to watch out for Rayo Vallecano and for Osasuna, as they both are both 1 point behind Celta Vigo with 51 points. They both can leapfrog Celta Vigo with a win and Celta Vigo loss, obviously, or a draw to get that last Europa League spot. Yes, fun times, but not so many fun times here on the bottom, as you have Leganés in the number 18 spot. They have 37 points. They have one more game to try to fight to get out of the relegation zone. They can leapfrog Espanyol. If they get a win, Espanyol get a loss. Espanyol have 39 points, just 2 points ahead of them. And then you have Las Palmas, who have joined Real Valladolid in the relegation squad at the bottom of the table. They have 32 points. Sealed the deal for them this past week with Leganés getting a win and then Las Palmas getting a loss. And then, of course, I don't have to say much, but Real Valladolid at the bottom of the table. They have a negative 61 goal differential. Yeah, it's insane. 16 points and pretty crazy. So good luck next year. Apparently, Las Palmas are getting relegated to San Antonio, which is crazy.
Yeah, they have to go there in the middle of the heat.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, they're coming next weekend, right?
Yeah, I was saying
next weekend.
I look at the date right now. I was like, wait, that's like
30. Yeah. Anyway,
damn. They get relegated and they have to go to 100-degree weather here in Texas. That's
yep, they'll be here, so it's gonna be fun. They'll be on the 31st, I think. They'll be in San Antonio playing a second league MLS team. There'll be a second league team in La Liga as well. And we were kind of hoping for them to stay in La Liga so we can say we had a La Liga side come, but last year we had a La Liga side. So anything on the table you want? Yeah, they will. Anything on the table you want to take a look at while we got it up here, Snooze?
I just want to call out that Rayo Vallecano might be in Europe, and that's crazy. The podcast I listened to, which is called I think Spanish Football Podcast. Pretty straightforward. One of the guys is a season ticket holder for Rayo, and it's just pretty cool. Like all year, people were telling him that they're going to get in, and he's like, "No, we barely stayed up last year." Like, no, it's not. He's just been so like not cynical, but
dismissive or
there you go. that now it's actually like it could happen. They just need to get a result better than Osasuna, and they're in, and that would be crazy. That would be so cool. But that's it. That's it. Shout out to that guy. I don't remember his name, but if he sees this, shout out to that guy.
Well, they do have a chance, Rayo Vallecano do, to leapfrog Celta Vigo with their last win against Celta Vigo this past week. Tell us a little bit more about that match and all what happened.
Yeah, so we talked about it last week, how Rayo had a couple of big matchups whenever they were on their winning streak, and I called them out. I was like, hey, this is it. This is when they're going to do it. And then I think one was against Villarreal, and then the other was, I can't remember who else it was. But either way, they ended up losing both of the matches that I called out, and I was just like, you know what? Not doing it anymore. Rayo's not ready for the prime time. They're not ready for the limelight. But coming up to this weekend, Rayo versus Celta, it was big. They're right underneath each other, or they're right on top of each other, I guess, for whichever way you want to look at it, on the table. And I just got to say that Rayo's curse, if it's broken, they can now get called out for games next season. They defeat Celta 2-1, as we just mentioned. And the cool thing about it was it was on the road for a Celtic crowd that were packed. I mean, they were going insane. And there's some construction going on at Celta Stadium. I don't know what's going on, but it's like there's sand everywhere. The only other stadium like it that I see is Fiorentina's, where it's like all the construction in the background. So maybe this summer they'll both be done. But either way, it was a packed out crowd besides obviously the half that's missing. But when Marcos Alonso's penalty went in going into the 10th minute, they scored in the 10th minute, Celta. I thought it was over. I was just like, okay, Rayo, they disappoint me again. It's like I called it out and they're not happening. But they didn't. They battled back. They got 2 first half goals, sealed 3 points. And coming into this match, we knew that Rayo and Celta were fighting for Europe. But since I assumed that Celta were going to win this, I hadn't even really thought about Rayo getting it done. It's going to be interesting because Osasuna, obviously they won. So now, I mean, it's a level on points. So there's 1 point difference. Like they're right there. And going into the final week, now that means that Rayo, Celta, and Osasuna, they're all three fighting for 2 European spots. That's right, because Rayo and Osasuna are level, and Celta is 1 more point above them. But either way, 3 teams fighting for 2 spots. That makes it more fun. And yeah, man, this is gonna be interesting to watch. If I had to put my money on it, I mean, I don't want to doubt them, but I would say Osasuna and Celta will probably get it done. I haven't looked at the schedule though, so let's see. Okay, I have it up here. Osasuna gets Alaves, who they're up already, so they might have something to play for, but maybe not too much. Mallorca for Rayo Vallecano. Mallorca is their mid-table, nothing to do there. Who do Celta have? Getafe, who they're also safe. So, okay, so they're all playing teams that don't have too much to play for, right? Because the only teams that can get relegated are which ones, Vic?
It's just Espanyol and Leganés right now.
Yeah, so the teams they're playing, Alaves, Mallorca, and Getafe have nothing to play for really. So interesting. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's hard to put money on teams that they have it wrapped up for the season. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. If I was to put my money on it, though, I would put Celta and Osasuna.
Man, it's crazy. Espanyol and Leganés. I know I'm veering from what exactly you just said right now.
Okay. It's okay.
Espanyol is number 17, Leganés is number 18. They play the 2 relegated team, Las Palmas and Valladolid, these next 2 weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy to see who gets relegated there. To see who sucks the less, but I guess. But for Rayo, Osasuna, and Celta Vigo, I'm gonna go just the way it is. Rayo and Celta Vigo, I think they still get in.
Okay.
But it's gonna be. I mean, this is why you watch, man. I've said it like a couple of times, but this is why you watch. This is gonna be fun. Anything can happen, and I just we don't really have that here in MLS because we have a playoff system. But can you imagine being a supporter going to these do or die games like this last game?
Yeah.
And you're checking on your phone for everything. Like, dude, that's crazy.
See what's going on.
That's so fun.
Speaking of, you said the playoff system. I hear we don't cover them, but. In Ligue 1, they're switching because PSG keeps winning the damn thing over and over. They're switching it to a playoff, like a 14 playoff to end the season. That's pretty cool. Nice. Interesting. Us Americans, we love us some playoffs, baby. It's right. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, let's move it
along. We're rambling. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga. mm, mm.
And in the
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga, this was the final match day, and it was very interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, we kind of knew who was, well, not, it was already locked up on the top and bottom. Let's put it that way. But everything in between, everything in the between of the bread in the Bundesliga sandwich was up for grabs. That was a pretty cool, like that was off the dome right there too. Yeah. So let's talk about it. On Saturday, Bayern dominate Hoffenheim 4-0, and it was never close. It was a great way for Bayern to end the season. Hoffenheim needed Bayern to beat the crap out of Hoffenheim, and they got that. They a 4-0, that is insane. But they also needed to win, and they did not do that as they got beat 4-1 themselves at home by Bremen, at home to Bremen. And now they'll be facing Elversberg to stay in the Bundesliga. I don't know much about Elversberg. I don't know if I've ever seen them in the Bundesliga. Maybe they've been there in the past. I haven't paid attention. But yeah, new team for me. I'll have to do my research on them, which we will be doing. We'll talk about that before we get out of here for the offseason. Okay, Gladbach fall at home 1-0 to Wolfsburg, and they close the season out with no wins in their last 7 Bundesliga matches as both clubs finish mid-table. Augsburg lose 2-1 to Union Berlin at home, and they should feel hard done by, though, Vic, because Union were dominated in possession, shots on goal, and they still came out on top. But if you watch the first half, Augsburg should have been up 2-3 and didn't capitalize. So, Union took advantage. Let's put it that way. Dortmund always find a way to get into the Champions League with a 3-0 ass whooping they put on Kiel. We knew they would do their part, but they also got the result they needed from the Eintracht and Freiburg game we'll talk about here in a moment. Stuttgart get a 3-2 win, or 3-2 win. I did say that right. Yeah, over Leipzig, and knock out Leipzig from European competition in the process. Undav, Voltamara, and Demirovic all chipping in goals, and that is a perfect day for any Stuttgartiers. Freiburg lose 3-1 at home to Frankfurt. Let's dig into this one more in a second. Mainz draw with Leverkusen 2-2 at home to get back into Europe for the first time since the 16-17 season. A great match that leaves a bitter taste in Leverkusen's mouth as Xabi heads to Madrid. Being shipped off, he is. St. Pauli fall at home to Bochum 2-0 in a match that didn't mean anything to either side, but go check out Boadu. I'm not sure I think probably Boadu. The first goal for Bochum. It was amazing. It was smooth. Dude was cutting through him like butter. Very fun. Okay, Vic, where does that leave us in the final table of the Bundesliga 24-25 season?
Yeah, so where we ended up is Bayern Munich, of course, your champions. They won the league with 82 points and beat the league. I mean, they did beat the league as well. But anyway, they're followed by your Bayer Leverkusen, never losing Leverkusen in the number 2 spot with 69 points. Nice. Then Eintracht Frankfurt have 60 points in the number 3 spot. And then Borussia Dortmund find a way to sneak into the Champions League, as you said, with 57 points. And then they were able to leapfrog Freiburg as Freiburg tickle our top 4 with 55 points in the Europa League spot. And then Mainz with 52 points, also getting one of the last Europa League spots. Or I think it's a playoff, right? Is that how that works? I forgot how it works.
No, that's Conference League.
Conference League. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Freiburg in Europa. Mainz is in Conference.
All right. Well, Conference League spot. Good job, Mainz. You're still doing some European tournaments. Here you go.
Yeah.
Nowhere close to a tournament here at the bottom of the table. You'll find the 2 relegated teams, Holstein Kiel and Bochum, both with 25 points apiece already are relegated now. Good luck next season, boys, in the league. I guess what's below the Bundesliga? What's it called?
Bundesliga 2. But
Bundesliga 2?
How do you say 2 in German?
No idea. If you know, in the comments, let us know down. Sound it out for us and everything.
If anybody has some German.
And
1, 2, 3. I think that's
Probably.
right. I think that's right.
Yeah. If that's right, you owe us a like. Give us a like.
Yes, there you go.
But yeah, they've already been relegated. And then you have Heidenheim, who are going to fight with Elversberg, as you said earlier. They have a relegation playoff battle to try to stay in Bundesliga. They have 29 points in the number 16 spot. Snooze, anything on the table you want to call out while we got it up here?
Man, no. It's I'm sad that we're done. That's it just feels like our baby's going off to college or something. Kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap on the Bundesliga season. And then the only home team to get a win snuck into the Champions League again as Borussia Dortmund take the number 4 spot. They got to play Freiburg earlier or this last week. And tell us a little bit more about that match and how it went.
You almost got it right. It's Eintracht Frankfurt.
Oh, damn, Frankfurt.
But
Freiburg.
But either way, this game did mean more for Dortmund than any of the teams playing in it, because going into it, Dortmund knew that if they won with at least 2 goals, so like if it was a 4-2 or 2-0, whatever, if they won by 2 goals, they would automatically go into the Champions League. And it just didn't really, I don't think there was too much stress because they were playing Kiel, who's already relegated. But anyway, we're talking about Eintracht Frankfurt and Freiburg. That was the match that we decided to key in on because there was 2 teams that were going head to head, and if they got what they needed, they could have both been in the Champions League. But Freiburg lose 3-1 to Eintracht at home, and they lose out on that Champions League spot as a result. Now we talked about how that might be good for them, but I'll get to that in a moment. But honestly, it's kind of a fitting into the season for Freiburg because they kind of overachieved, in my opinion. They were doing great. It's their first time for, I'm blanking on his name right now. Christian, what is his name? What is the coach's name? Oh, wow. Sure. How unprofessional is this? It is Julian Schuster. There we go. Julian Schuster's first season. He's never coached before. He was only the understudy for a while. And I mean, this is his first time taking over. And now I'm like, man, do I have the right guy? Is that who is that? Yeah. Yes, he did. Okay, there we go. All right. Anyway, so yes, this is his first season. And I don't know. I just like, if you've never coached before, he's been an assistant, obviously, but if he's never coached before, then you don't get to just be in the Champions League and like just you're that good. You're telling me you've never done it, now you're just that good. But also, Vic, the thing that's pissed us off about Freiburg all season is their -4 goal differential that they end with. So they end the season in Europe, right? They still get into the Europa League with a -4 goal differential. I think that the rest of the teams in the top 10, maybe one more, I think, has a negative, but most of them all positive. And I don't know, just like if you did that in the Bundesliga, I feel like if you're in the Champions League, it might not be a good story for them. So anyway, here I have right here. Look, my note. If I just read my notes, right, the closest team to the -4 goal differential mark in Europe, anyways, is Mainz. And Mainz have a +12 goal differential. So it's not close, right? That's just what I'm saying.
Good Lord.
So needless to say, they might be better off facing Europa League competition. But obviously the money would have been great for the Champions League. And I bet maybe, they could have got more money for that, more crowds, maybe some more notoriety. I don't know. But either way, I feel like they can go maybe not too deep into the Europa League once the knockout rounds start, but they can at least get past or at least get into the round of 16. I was going to say the group stage, but there's no group stage anymore. We did away with that. Everything's changing. But anyway, what the result does do is it sends Dortmund and Eintracht to the Champions League. And even though that Freiburg didn't get in, I still want to say that it was quite a season. Julian Schuster, like I was just saying, first season in charge. What are they going to do next season? They get a couple people in, just see to where he can take this. And I'm interested to see if this becomes his team or how it turns out. Because if you recall, Christian Streich, he's been he was the coach for Freiburg for, I was trying to look it up right here. How many years? He was their coach. He'd been their coach since 2011. So what is that? 24 years?
No, 14.
I said 24. It is 14. Damn. Now it looks stupid on camera.
And then he was an assistant for 4 years before that too, in 2017 or 2007.
So 14 years. And the dude. He's been the assistant coach, like I was saying, but this is first season. So anyway, my point is, I'm excited to see where he grows from here. I'm excited to see where this Freiburg team can go, and with a European competition next season, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Plus, we're probably going to be going to Freiburg, and it'll be awesome to see. Actually, I don't even think Danny P's talked to us because he's been gone the last few times we've talked about it, so he has no idea what we're talking about. But we might be going to Freiburg this winter. And so there could be some games going on, some Europa League stuff going on, and that would be fun. Okay. Yes, I think we've set it all for Germany. Let's do it. Let's go to England.
All right. Onward to the Prem.
Woo! We don't have a full match day 37 yet, but we do have what is this? 8 out of 10 games that have happened. So let's jump right into them. Friday, Aston Villa get 3 much-needed points in a 2-0 win over Spurs, and they stay 5th with City still yet to play, and we will see how that wraps up. Well, by the time this comes out, maybe you've already known. Chelsea grind out a 1-0 win over United to stay level on points with Newcastle and Villa, and this is going to be a fun final match day. We'll talk about that here when we check out the table in just a moment. On Sunday, remember Saturday, there was the FA Cup, which congrats Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup. I think it's like the first time that they've won a trophy in a very long time, maybe ever. I don't know. But either way, congrats. That's really cool. And City doesn't need to win every trophy, right? They can not win trophies. So this season they don't win a trophy. Boo-hoo. Who cares?
Okay. If I'm reading this right, it says Crystal Palace their first ever major trophy victory in their 164-year history. Can't be right?
Wow. I mean, you're talking to the wrong person. I'm
Let us know in the comments if we're wrong or not. That was the first thing that came up. So
how cool is that? Well, congrats, even more. On Sunday, most of the games played. Everton gets it done and closes down Goodison Park with a 2-0 win, and that's now back-to-back wins for the Toffees. Congrats, boys, and way to go, Danny P. He's happy. Forest get a 2-1 win over West Ham and keep their Champions League dreams alive going in to the final match day. Go check out Jared Bowen's goal. The dude is really good this year. He's been amazing, and this goal just kind of sums up how he's been. Brentford go down at home to Fulham 2-3, and this was a big result for Brentford because had they won, they would be above Brighton in the table in 8th, and it looks like 8th is going to be a Conference League spot after all the dust settles, and now I probably won't get that. Leicester beat Ipswich 2-0, and Vardy scored his 200th goal for the Foxes in his final match with the club, maybe his final match of his career. A storybook ending for the man that perfected the art of shithousery and being a nuisance. Hey, congrats, Leicester, and congrats, Vardy. And they were talking about, like, what was your best moments and blah, blah. And, of course, he said playing in the Champions League and winning the league. And it's just like, it still blows my mind that they won the league. Oh, man, that's crazy. All right. Arsenal get a 1-0 win over Newcastle to cement their second place in the table and Champions League qualification that comes with it. We'll talk about this one more in a second. On Monday, well, when you see this yesterday, Brighton beat the champs 3-2 to keep their European football chances alive. They come back from 2-1 down to get 3 points, and after the final whistle, Liverpool fans didn't give a damn. They were all singing, chanting, having fun because all this doesn't matter. The total points don't matter. They already won the league.
We're just trying to get to the party next Sunday. That's all we're doing. Trying to get to the party next Sunday.
So let's talk about what the table looks like after the penultimate match day of the year in the Prem.
Yes, sir. Like I said, Liverpool just waiting for the trophy ceremony. They have already won the league with 83 points, dropping the last 3 games. But, who cares? That's when we won. Arsenal in the number 2 spot with 71 points, a clear 12 points behind Liverpool. And then a clear 5 points behind them is Newcastle United, Chelsea, Aston Villa, all with 66 points apiece in the number 3, 4, and 5 spot, respectively. This is going to be a fun last match day. As we go in to find out who's going to take these Champions League spots and then also the Europa League spots, because tickling our top 4 is Manchester City with 65 points. Of course, they have a game in hand, so they could leapfrog all the way up to number 3, depending on the result for the game you will see today, if it's coming out on a Tuesday. If you're watching this on the Tuesday. And then behind them is Nottingham Forest. The dream is not over yet. They still have 65 points with the win that they got last week. And they are just still knocking on those Champions League spots, trying to get in there. At least your Europa League spots, something. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Is that what you do? Yeah, nice.
Just ignore me, please.
I got you. I can do that. Yeah, so that is going to be a fun match, as number 3 all the way to number 7 are just 1 point apart. And going in the last match day, this is why you watch football. This is why you watch football. This is going to be so fun. Not as fun down here at the bottom of the table, as all 3 of these bottom teams have already been relegated for a couple weeks, I think now, as you have Leicester City, Ipswich Town, and Southampton, the relegation squad down here. Again, all the way gone, and good luck next year, boys, but it won't be in the Premier League. You have some dates with Wrexham, and then we're also going to give a special too little, too late award to Leicester City, who have 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 matches. But again, too little, too late. And then just a fun little note here. Number
No,
17 and 16,
no,
Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United.
no need for those notes.
The 38 and 30. They have 38 and 39 points. It doesn't matter who has what. Nobody's going to do anything. But just this Wednesday, I think it's this Wednesday, right? So tomorrow, if you're watching this on Tuesday, they have to subject their battle for 16th to Spain in the Europa League final. And yeah, I think we might go try to watch that somewhere. But yeah,
hopefully,
I got my boy Snooze and
I'm hoping. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out.
Man, can you? I don't even know if this has ever happened again. Like almost the last spots in the league going for a trophy this year. I'm sure it has, but it's pretty cool.
And it's a big deal because, dang, I don't need to talk about it right now, but it's a big deal because the loser, and let's just say Spurs lose this match. Now that would mean that we are 17th in the table. We probably don't have a manager, and you have nothing to show for the season except for it being horrible. So like the winner of this, yeah, you were low on the table, but dude, you won the Europa League. Like that's pretty awesome. The loser just looks like the worst team in the league. That's not one of the relegated teams. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a big deal. I don't want to think about it. I wasn't thinking about it, and then you brought it up. So,
my bad. I had to. So
right,
I'm going on vacation. Anything else on the table you want to take a look at while we got it up here?
I'll kind of repeat what you were just talking about with those Champions League spots whenever we get to the match between Newcastle and Arsenal. How about that? I took your spotlight, though. You usually throw it over to me.
Good. Go ahead.
But what I'll say about this match is that it was defined by Raya for Arsenal, the goalkeeper. Dude was a brick wall out there, and I obviously don't like Arsenal very much, but it was stop after stop, and he was the reason they were able to get out of there with 3 points from just one goal being scored. And the goal was hell of a goal, by the way. Declan Rice swept one home from outside the box. Looks like he's just getting better from shooting outside the box every year. As the year's gone on, every day, every game, every match, everything. He's just getting better and better, and it's not fun to watch unless you're an Arsenal fan. Newcastle, on the other hand, are now on, I guess we can call it cheek clenching time, because with that loss, they've let the rest of the pack catch them after all the hard work they've done. And now 3-7, as Vic was just saying, separated by a point. And all these teams will be in Europe, but only three are getting into the Champions League. So it's kind of cool because like they're still getting into some point, or they're still getting some competition. We should know which one it is. Now, with that said, by the time you see this, you'll know City's result. So City might be, if they win, they'll go above all these people, and it won't be 1 point between them. But at the time of writing this, it is, okay? So don't come for us. And man, it just makes for a great final match day. And I think we needed it because the Prem had been kind of locked up for a while now. There wasn't much going on. It looked like we knew who was going to be in the Champions League. Maybe Forest was going to try to get in, but that was really the only team we were looking at. And now, I mean, 3-7, it could be any of those teams. And we'll see how Manchester City does against Wolves in a couple hours time. It's right around the corner. And then obviously going into that final match day, but we're getting to it. The final match day is coming upon us. And Vic, anything you want to say about Newcastle Arsenal before we get out of here?
No, just I'm glad it kind of ended up that way because we had a three-way tie for 6. I feel like I said something like that. It wasn't exactly like that, but I felt like I said something about some of the way the games played out. It would be a three-way tie between some people. I feel like I said that. I might be no.
Probably did. You did.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll go check the tape and let me know.
Check the tape. Let's review it right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get at it.
All right.
Let's get at it.
Well, everyone, thank you for spending time with these Texas boys talking about some European football. Again, like and subscribe is the best way to promote us and let other people know that we're out here talking about some European football. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, or on Twitch, on Twitter, and on TikTok. It is at No Biz Sock Pod because those names were way too damn long. Everyone, I will be on vacation. I'm going to Mexico, or I'm going to Cancun on Thursday. I will be back Monday. We will do another podcast.
Must be nice.
Yes, it is. But I will be out this coming Friday for your European look ahead. I'll try to sneak in and say hi or something like that. But y'all enjoy an all snooze version of that. It's going to be great. I promise you. Don't worry about it. It's going to be awesome. Probably the best episode
Hey,
yet.
whoa. Hey, okay. Hey. Calm down with the expectations here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get out of here. We're rambling now. Everyone, thank you. We will all talk to you soon.
Peace.